Hey everybody, this is Charles Blair, the Mad Scientist, and I want to thank you for being on this specific, and I mean highly motivated Guru interview. And my guest for today is someone that I've really been looking forward to introduce to you guys. You heard me talking about this online new system. It's a combination app plus desktop system called Print Genie. And with me, I actually have the owner, founder, and creator of Go Big Printing and Print Genie, Mr. Andy Detwiler. Andy, thank you for the broadcast, my friend.
Oh, well, I'm so happy to be here, Charles. You are a fan favorite. Look at you. You look great out there, and I'm super happy to be here. So I'm here to help and show everybody what we can do. This is great.
Yeah, I see we got that gray beard thing going on, man.
Yeah, I shaved mine a little short because the other day I took a picture and I looked at it and I'm like, what, man? All right. I thought I looked cool, but I shaved it a little bit. You look cooler than I do. So thanks.
No problem, man. No problem at all. First and foremost, Andy, I kind of gave everybody a taste of Print Genie about a week ago. Tell everybody exactly what is Print Genie and how does it help business owners, entrepreneurs, and real estate investors alike?
Got it. Okay. So Print Genie is a 20-year overnight success story. And I'm telling you that I've wanted to print one for 20 years. I finally got that chance. And then the other thing that I wanted to do for people, besides to be able to print just one, is to be able to schedule an auto drip campaign that goes out automatically while you sleep. So here's what I'm saying. If I were to sum it all up so you get it right off the bat, how in the world, well, first of all, let's back up. You know you have to hit people more than one time. You know that sending one thing is not going to work. There's no one-hit wonder. I mean, that doesn't work. Look how distracted I am. I got my phone and water. People are yelling at me. I'm distracted. So you have to hit them many times, right? We also know that you got to hit a little online. You got to hit them offline. You got to mix it up. So what we did was we created Print Genie. It's really the magic of Print Genie, but we're giving you the ability to set up an auto drip campaign, and it's going to be inclusive of, let's say, for example, you know, a letter. A letter goes out automatically. Followed up automatically. A postcard goes out automatically. 1 month later, boom, another one comes out automatically, just like that. Boom, another one comes out just like that. And all handwritten, all the variables are built in there. And then you know what? You know everybody's different. Let's send them a letter. And you know everybody is different. So we're going to send everybody another colored letter. We got a pink one. You know what? Maybe you got your letterhead, right? And so that's what I hit about 5 times, 6 times, and then boom, a big jumbo postcard. So what we're doing is we're saying we know everybody's different. We know we have to hit them several times over a period of time. We know they're super distracted. They got, you know, the shiny metal object. Right. So what we're doing is we know that 7 is the magic number. So what we're doing is we're giving mini postcards, jumbos, and letters to mix it up. They're all uniquely different because we all have different receptors. Some are going to be more responsive to like a graphic postcard, and someone might be more responsive to like a handwritten postcard or something that looks like you literally wrote it on a, right? And we pull out the variables, your name, the property address, and all that stuff, and it looks like it's handwritten, and it looks like you sent it to one person. And all these, by the way, these, where am I at here? These guys in the envelopes are, where I'm grabbing them, they come with a stamp. So you got a real stamp. This is, you know, I'm just pulling out from my samples here, but it all comes with a real stamp. So what we're doing is we're making it look really, really authentic, just like that. So what's Print Genie? Multi-sequence stripping. And then, by the way, every time we send out a mailer, we throw out a text saying, did you get that letter? And then we send an email. Hey, did you get that letter? I'm still interested. The next drop, we send another text, another email, another text, another email. But we're not blasting.
Hold on.
I know it's nuts, right?
That's the key that I want you guys to understand. It's not just about a letter and a postcard. You're sending 4 different sequences. You're sending a letter. You're sending a postcard. You're sending a text, and you're sending an email, all with one platform in a segmented way done for you. That's the key.
That's it. That's beautiful, right? Exactly. To one person, right? To one person.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So I want you to do me a favor. Take us to the actual website. Let us see what it looks like, what you have there. And I know it's something about 5 simple steps that you have segmented on the website. Take us to the website and show us what it looks like.
You got it. Let me share it. Here we go. Hold on. Click, click, click. Okay, so you got that now. Can you see that?
Oh, that's a handsome guy up there. I got to admit that.
Do we look the same? Look at me. There we go.
Mm-hmm.
We're badass. Hey, listen, so here we go. I'm super proud to have you here. And so what we've done is we know engagement with people is super key. We know, and I know for having done direct marketing for, 25 years, it takes a lot of touches. It takes authentic relationship building. And so all of our communications are in that authentic voice. That's transparent. That's I'm a guy, I'm going through life. I've got a thing and I can help you. You've got a distressed property or you got something going on. I've got the tools to help you get through that. I'm going to fix it for you. And so what we did was we gave you the opportunity to trigger all these things automatically. We know that people are going to respond to one or maybe the second one or the third one because life happens when you're doing other things. And the fact is life changes every day. So it has to arrive on the day they're ready and willing to receive it, right? And so we know that. So we just schedule a drip and send it out. So what is a drip? I was kind of just showing you in real life. Let me come all the way down here and just share with you this one more time, that we're sending out a postcard followed by a text, followed by an email. Then we're sending a letter and then a text and an email and then another postcard. And we have lots of campaigns, but we're going to give you a couple choices. So maybe, for example, you want to hit them with a 3-month campaign. Maybe you want to hit them with a 6-month campaign. Oh, by the way, check this out. $2. So you're going to send a postcard, a letter in an envelope, another postcard once a month, text and email following for about $2.
Hold on. You're telling me that if I wanted to send out a 3-month campaign where we're talking about a letter, text, postcard, letter, text, yada, 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 I'm only going to be charged $2?
$2 too. 202. Yeah. I know. It's nuts. I know. It's nuts. But listen, now it's not quite, I put 402 for the next 6-month campaign. Now remember, we've got, and we have lots of campaigns. You might have a probate list. You might have a distressed leads list. You might have absentee owner list. You might have high equity list. We've got campaigns pre-built for you because we did the thinking for you. So we're putting all 25 years of direct marketing into a push button solution. And we'll
Andy,
get to it, but
Andy, the key here is I don't want you guys who's listening to this broadcast to really sleep on this main point. As a real estate investor who's been in the business for over 30 years, the key to getting that person to say yes is what Andy mentioned earlier. It's in the follow-up. The money is in the follow-up. I haven't heard of anywhere on the internet in my 30 years where you could send out 5, 6, 7 pieces in a 3-month period and only pay $2.02. That's the one point I want you to understand. This is truly a groundbreaking system from not only somebody out there that is outsourcing something. This guy has a full mail house behind him, which allows him to give us that content, to give us those years of experience with the actual templates, the done-for-you styles, working with investors over the years. You're going to get the actual stuff that is converting. And that's the key. Anybody can send out 3, 4, 5, 6 pieces. But to have that behind you of all those years of experience working with investors with Go Big Printing, and now integrate that on a desktop and a mobile app, it's a game changer. I didn't mean to interrupt you, man, but I had to make people understand exactly how powerful just this little segmentation part is when you're talking about how the process works.
Thanks for pointing that out. You know, I have found that in all these years of doing stuff, I sometimes forget the stuff that might blow the mind of somebody else because I'm so immersed into it, right? I've been doing this for a long time, so you can imagine. But what this is a culmination of all that I've learned over 20-some years in direct marketing. And back to the point of printing, I always thought, well, you never want to be a printer, right? It's just a beast in itself. But you don't want to be a printer. But aside from that, as a printer, I always thought, well, let's build tech around a product that's so great, like what we do in printing. So that's what we did, was we created all this around printing. That's why your prices are $2. We don't outsource it. We are the printer, right? So we've already been printing these things. We spend a boatload of time and money into creating the ability to receive an order of one. So that's why thousands of people ordering one at a time, we can handle it. It just runs through production. But it took us 2 years to build that. But that's what we have. Now we have this tool that we built called Print Genie, like you can see. So one of the things, though, in reference to what I'm showing you here, is that we do have a mix of campaigns. We have, I think it was, someone told me it blew my mind too. It was 2 million pieces per month on average for 20 years. It's about 500 million pieces of mail. So we've learned a lot, and we're summing it up right here. But one of the things I think is really important is right here. One of the biggest mistakes that we see people make regarding direct mail marketing is just to send out a few and then quit.
Right.
So, I mean, that's just like the way it is. People get in, they spend $250, they didn't buy a house, they quit. Now that's good for the people that stick at it. And it's also obvious for people that, that have to understand, it's called direct mail marketing for a reason. And one more thing I think is really going to drive it home is this: 80% of sales, we're in sales, requires 7 follow-up touches. 44%, or half of the amount of people, just quit after one. So imagine all the people that are doing something. Maybe there's noise in the marketplace and it's saturated here and there, but if you're the one that follows up on a consistent basis, you're going to win that deal. You're going to get it. And this is all over the place. It's not just in the investor space. It's across the board in sales. In that art of communication, it takes more than just one touch. It takes a follow-up sequence, and that has to be affordable. There you go. So there you go. That's a good front end intro to Print Genie, and thanks for your patience and sharing that and pointing that out. But back to what you said right off the bat, it's more of a platform than it is an app. An app is just 1/5 of everything. And so if you look at kind of the 5 easy ways to use Print Genie, we'll go through these for you, but you can run it from your phone. You can send as little as 1 from your phone and from the desktop. Bulk mail, so if you have your own list, great, upload it. List stack it, go someplace, get your list. We're just a lead gen machine, right? Now, you also have a Zapier integration, so if you have your own CRM, if you ever, whatever it is, a Google Sheet or MailChimp or Infusionsoft or HubSpot or 1,600 places, if you have a connection there, you have a connection with us.
Don't forget Podio, because the CRM is able to integrate with the Zapier integration by way of Podio.
Huge. I mean, it's a huge connection. I mean, imagine the power of, like, every time a call comes in that's hot, boom, a whole campaign's just dripping automatically. Or it's a cold, maybe it's a cold lead and you're dripping them starting in 6 months and you follow up then. But that's possible. We also built a motivated seller list inside of Print Genie. So if you didn't have a list, you didn't know what to do, you can click a few buttons and get a list from us. It'll skip trace it and then find the phone and the email, and then you can apply that list to a campaign as well. So all that's built in, inside of Print Genie. That's your 5 easy ways to get started. So, here we go. We jump right in and pick one. It's your call.
Absolutely. I want you to go. Let's go ahead first. Yeah, because you mentioned, and you just skimmed over that first one. I want you guys to understand what he's saying when he said they create a mobile app. Just imagine. You're going to have to put on your Wayne World look. Just imagine you having to drive around and you just sit in your car in front of an address or property, and you click a button, and then all of a sudden that property comes up on your phone. You click another button and you send a 1-month campaign, a 2-month, 3-month, however the campaign you want to send out, where when you click that button, that house that you're looking at gets a text message, it gets an email, it gets a letter, it gets a postcard on autopilot already done for you just by clicking a button. So he said the mobile app. What I like to call it is the driving for dollars wizard, because you actually have in the palm of your hand a wizard that will, at the snap of your finger, do what you want when it comes to following up.
That's right. Well, that's, what I call it, kind of was calling it like go big in your pocket. So for, for 20 years, we have hundreds of editable, customizable templates online, and you could order your list of 100 or more bulk mail. But now we take all of those and rebuild them inside of Print Genie. And all those postcards and letters that we built into Print Genie, I used Print Genie to build them. I don't want to blow your mind, but we built an application inside of Print Genie for you to make your own postcards and letters. Now, granted, we have hundreds and they're all built, but if you want to make your own, make your own. You can create it from scratch, or you can clone it and then make your own. So just,
well, enough with teasing them. Enough with teasing them. Jump inside. Show them the inside of the system. Let's go inside.
Gotcha. Okay. So pretty easy. Once you jump in, we have a dashboard. Your dashboard gives you a quick pick or a quick view on all that's happening. You have how much you've spent, how many touches you've made. And a touch, remember, a touch is a text, an email, and a postcard. That would be 3 touches. So in the old days of my world, when we started to do touches back in the early 2000s, it was like you could do a recipe card, and it was a 12 touch because it went out once a month. Right, and you got a recipe card once a month for the real estate agents. That's what we started doing this 20 years ago, but that was to hundreds or 200 of people at a time. Now, a touch is, wow, an email, a text, and a postcard. That's 3 touches. You do that next month, that's 6. By the time you hit them 6 times, that's 6 times 3, right? That's 18 times you've touched them in a short period of time, right? So that's what touches is. And you can see minis, single-sided, double-sided jumbos, and text messages and emails, how many you've sent. It tells you the campaigns that are actively running, the last 5 campaigns that are running, gives you a description of what they are. And what I'll do is I'll jump in here for you and give you some perspective on inside the dashboard, right? So inside the dashboard, you have access to hundreds of postcards and letters, conveniently sorted by a keyword and a category. So you click on handwritten, you can click on your handwritten postcard, and this will describe what that postcard is. And every time, is that pretty clean? And I'm just showing you from the desktop, right? We haven't even jumped on the phone, which we'll do. But now, all this stuff, by the way, we build it on here. Whenever you see like owner first name, property street, my phone number. So remember, we built these things for you, and then you can order them. So based on your account setting, it automatically pulls in your phone, your email, your website, your name, your return address, all that stuff happens automatically. And then, right, if you uploaded a list, or if you buy a list, or if you skip trace a list on your phone, it's going to find the owner's details, and that's where it's being mailed, right? So you've got your profile, the owner's profile, the property details profile, all built in on everything, right?
And what I really love about it is that when I turned it over to my people to start playing around with it and messing with it, to use it, it was so intuitive. It was something that wasn't confusing when you got in the back. You click a button here, you see this. You click a button there, you see that. You got great videos that gives you training on how to use it. It is not something that is going to take a college degree in order to learn the platform.
Perfect. Well said. You know what? And thanks for saying that too. And so we put a lot of effort into our help videos, but really I'm showing you a lot of stuff, but there's only a couple ways to trigger it, right? I mean, to be fair, right? So we give you a lot of stuff. I've showed you a bunch of categories. I mean, if you're just saying, well, just show me anything that's, I only like letters. Okay, there's a bunch of letters. You click the next page, more letters, more letters. We have hundreds, right? So you pick your favorite. There it is. You like that letter. So what we did was, we're showing you a bunch of singles, but what I'd like to do is show you what you're really here for, which is the meat and the potatoes, is the campaign. A campaign is multiple touches, like we talked about, right? So all of these individuals are combined into something we call a campaign. A campaign is like I showed you on the prior page, which is a postcard, a text, an email, a letter, right? That's a campaign. You got to think campaign, multiple touches. That's what's key. So what I'm showing you now, does that make sense, right? So difference between a one-off, no-hit wonders to a multiple, multi-sequence, multi-channel campaign that lasts for a period of time. That's your winning game right there. So what I'm showing you now is my active dashboard. I'm just logged into my site. So I can see what's, I know maybe looking confusing if you see all this stuff, but I'll sum it up real pretty simple. I've got active campaigns running for lots of different things. Like here I have, one particular driving for dollar campaign that's active and running with, for a 3-month. Then I have a 4-month. Then I have a 6-month absentee owner campaign. And I did something special for our audience, and I had a sneak peek campaign going on, right? So it's pretty simple. You've got active campaigns that are up and running. And you can see on the right-hand side, this particular campaign had 28 originally, and it's got 0 in the pipeline. That means it's done. That campaign went through all the people that I added to that pipeline. That's it. But what's cool is I could always add one more name to that pipeline, and then boom, it just adds that one name at the beginning and triggers that guy. But let me sum it up this way. Make it even easier. Here's all our campaigns that we give you. And there's a bunch in here. And so you're looking at all this stuff. Now, these are pre-built badass campaigns. And what that means is if I kind of mouse over the question mark, meaning, let me just say it this way. There's so much in each one of these, it's difficult to show you the contents of them all until you take a step. You have to jump in one more step to see it all. Because otherwise, it'd be pages and pages of what each campaign consists of, right? Like how do I show you on a page all this stuff, right? There's too much stuff to show you on a single page, right? So what I'm getting at is we're saying, look, here's an absentee owner campaign for out-of-state area or out-of-state people. It's 4-month. If you mouse over the question mark, it tells you. It's a postcard, it's a letter, it's another postcard, another letter, 4 texts, 4 emails. It's good for, it tells you, we say, look, this campaign's great for those, that, blah, blah, blah. We tell you on average it'll cost about $3 to send this whole 4-month campaign. That's what we're telling you on each one of these things. But if you want to see the campaign, just click on it, and then we describe the campaign once again, and you can change the name, and you just assign your list. So for example, I just have a list in here. Let's just click one. If I grab one that has a name in it. So here you can add as many lists as you'd like. In order to see that campaign, now I'm going to expose all of those assets. We call them assets or touches inside of that campaign. And so this very first one is going to go out immediately, and it's going to be a postcard. Number one. About a day after they get that postcard, they're going to get a text message from you. And then a day after that, they get an email from you. And now this is month 1. And remember, this campaign was triggered by your phone. You uploaded a list. You bought a list. It doesn't matter. It's just a campaign. You got to trigger it with data, right?
Okay. Now let's stop a second.
Gotcha.
I want to show you guys just how easy this is. If you go and point to where the delay button is at in the actual campaign setting, where it says delay, right there is where your magic is at. You can even have the campaign go out immediately, or that actual piece go out immediately, or you could say 1 day, you could say 1 week, you could say 1 month, and so on. That's the power of this process. You have total control of it, not to mention everything is already designed for you, and you can either go with the preset that they have already for this campaign, or you could design your very own.
Right, that's perfect. And then, so that's the power. What you just said is exactly right. And when we built this, we're taking all of our knowledge of what would work in the best scenario. So we're saying to ourselves, in this case scenario, what's the best thing to happen? We know that this postcard's best to go out first, followed by a text, followed by an email, followed by a letter. We know that. We also know if it's a case of a probate that might take 6-7 months, it's best to send out monthly and not send it out every 2 weeks. We know just from experience that it might be an auction that you maybe should send out a postcard and a letter real quick within the first month. But we know like in a longer type of process, maybe like absentee owners, it might take 6 months. So that's why you can see here, we're scheduling it out once a month, right? And so as you kind of go down the line here, these are all set up to go out once a month. You can change it if you want to, but we're kind of suggesting, you know what, let it go. I mean, we've done this a long time. Does that make sense?
And that's the flexibility. You guys are your fingers on the pulse of what's working, but you also give that person the flexibility. That person who has the experience, who's doing 5, 10, 15 deals and want to rev it up to the next level to put in their own mindset in regards to when it should go out.
That's exactly right. And that, you know what, one of the things that we've had all along is we wanted to give you that tool, right? So we want to give you
Right.
well, there's really two types of, there's the basic user or the pro user. The basic user is
Right.
going, tell me what you got. I just want to click a button. Perfect. I'm good to go. Then you've got the pro that says, I like what you got, but I want to adjust a little bit. Let me change it up a little bit. Let me tailor it to my voice. Let me change the graphic. Let me change the, okay, there you go. There
Right.
you go. Right. So now I've shown you, I picked a campaign. I'm showing you the contents of the campaign. I hit next step. It tells me to send this to 2 people, of which we don't charge for email and phone. And if it's not on your list, we're not charging you. So if you upload a list and half have a phone and half have an email or vice versa, we're only charging you for what it has, right? So you see here,
Right.
I had a list of 2, of which only 1 had an email and 1 had a text. And we're sending out 2 mini postcards and 2 letters. And you can see here how many emails and how many text messages cost $5.36 sent to 2 people, right? So now you can start to understand the power of this. I just hit pay, and now I know for the next 4.5 months, these guys are taken care of. They're going to be calling me, right? Because I just systematically are hitting them over and over again, right? So that's it.
Right.
I mean, that's it. You're using the desktop. That's about it. I mean, aside from the fact, I'll show you quickly, but how'd I get that list in here? I can upload it if I want. I can add them one at a time if I want. I can select it from a map if I want. So really, it's just, you start with what list do you have? What campaign do you want? That's how you run it from the desktop.
Okay, Andy, what else do we have that is really powerful about the system is when you're talking about the fact that if you don't have a list, you can get it through the system. Let's break down how that works.
Sure, you got it. So everything's based off, I mean, just in the real world of things, you have to have a list to mail to, right? So you start out with a list. So what we did was we said, okay, cool. Let's give you some options and try to cover all bases. So you can upload a list, and that's pretty simple. You give it a name, you upload your list. I don't have to go through that. I think you can get that. So that's if you have your own list. No big deal. And you can map out the first name and the last name and the mailing address and the property address, or if you have a list that's owner occupied, all that stuff's in there. I don't have to bore you with that. I think everybody gets that. The second one is if you wanted to make a list and just upload them manually. That you can do too. So you make a list called Charles, and then you add them one at a time. I think that's pretty explanatory. I don't have to bore you with that. What we also did was, which has been super successful on the Go Big side, the most successful thing we integrated was about 4 years ago into a data center, and we integrated with them so that you could then get data within Go Big Printing, because you like Go Big Printing and you want to mail within and pick letters and postcards, but you actually wanted to pick a list. So we integrated with a data set, and the most popular feature of that was this. So we took that and we put it inside of Print Genie. The most popular part was our ability to pick the best and most motivated lists. So just like we picked the sequence and the mailers that should go out, we also said, let's give our users the best list to pick from if they don't have their own. Now, granted, go someplace to get your list, but if you don't, come inside here. And what we're doing is we're saying, look, out-of-state owners with homes built before 75 with high equity, that's a motivated seller. And then what we did was we created a filter set. We scan all 190 million homes across the country, and we find those within your region that match this criteria. And mortgage default absentee owns with high equity, mortgage default out-of-state absentee owns with high equity. So we power pack this thing, high equities, mortgage default with high equity. And if you want to read through this, you can. Give you a little more description in case you're new to this or you don't know. And then the lowest laying fruit is an absentee owner, right? So there you go. So let's just do something like this. We'll pick on a high equity list, or I guess we can come in here. So it's as simple as this. You pick your list. Oh, I didn't get in here. You can do affidavit of death, divorce, and high equity. You come in and you pick where are you marketing? I don't know. So let's just pick in here, Arizona. And we ask you to pick the county. And then we say, well, what cities do you want to buy in? So maybe pick a couple cities. You can also include zip codes. So you notice here the zip codes correspond to the cities, correspond to the county, correspond to the state. So we did all that for you. And now you might want to go, well, I'm only looking for these 3 zip codes, so skip the city. I'm just giving you an example, right? And limit your records, because you don't want to pull them all because you might find 8,000 and be like, well, I don't want to mail 8,000. Well, you could, but you probably shouldn't do that. If you want, you can skip trace the phone only or the email. And remember, when you do the mail, although you're paying for it here, when you do the mailing, you're only paying for what record includes it or doesn't include it, right? Just saying. You might say, okay, just give me 100. So give me 100 records that match this criteria and then do a search. And what we'll do is we'll go out and find those records based on that criteria, and it's already built into the system. So all you have to do is say, okay, and then now it's a list that resides inside your Print Genie account, and then you can order whatever. You can order your postcard letter or your full campaign.
And when you pull stuff like that on a webinar, it takes a couple minutes, that's all.
Yeah, you know what?
Wow, that was quick.
I'm on a HubSpot too. My internet connection was bad, so yeah, I was pretty quick on HubSpot on a webinar thing. So right, so we found those for you, and you call it something, whatever you want to remember, Charles, and then you have your some reference so you remember it later, and you pay for them. So it cost me $36 because I bought 100 of them, and now I own them, and they're mine. So that's it. So had I bought them, they'd be sitting right here, and now I have a list. Right? So what do you do with that list? Just like we showed you before, you come in here to active campaigns and you pick your favorite campaign and attach that list. That's it. I don't know what campaigns you want to do, but like I just chose an equity owner one. So I'd probably come in here and pick this one, like an equity owner with 30% or better equity. So, I mean, we kind of coordinated that, right? If it makes sense.
And the good part about what you have in this system is you have the meat and potatoes of what you would call a list: absentee, pre-foreclosure, high equity, and so on, already outlined in the actual campaigns with mail pieces to match the actual motivation.
That's exactly right. That's good. So we did things like if you did a foreclosure campaign, it's more likely going to speak that language. A probate's going to speak that language. But I'll be fair with you. I learned long ago, don't speak the language specifically. Like if it's a probate lead, you're not going to reference anything that terrible might have happened, right? You're just using your voice, or we're, in our case, using our authentic relationship building voice, which is, I'm a guy, this is what I do, I can help you. I mean, those type of empathetic, compassionate views. We're not saying, I'm sorry for your loss of Uncle Ned. We're not doing anything like that, right? So, but we did do it in that kind of sequence. So, I mean, yeah, so that's it. So I gave you a couple different ways to get a list in here, to buy a list from us. I mean, that just sums up really the meat and potatoes of what you got, inside of Print Genie, right at your fingertips, right? So, and also we did. I mean, I don't know how people are going to do it, but we said, look, maybe you want to do an online only campaign. All this top bar here is just to sort out. Maybe you just want an online or an offline only campaign. And when I say on and offline, you'll see a tooltip. And that describes, if you don't know the verbiage or whatever it is, but online is email and text, offline is direct mail, right? So, or both. So what we're doing is we're combining both, and then you can clear your filters. And then things like this, Charles, you can come in here and type in probate, and it'll find only probate campaigns. And then, maybe you come up with a campaign and call it Charles, and then you can have them search there and they'll find a campaign. You can search it by category as well. This is just, I mean, maybe we're going to end up with 100 different campaigns, but realistically, we'll be tight with this one and have just really hot ones. But that just gives you the search function to find campaigns. Just like you want a search function to find hundreds of letters and postcards, we're doing the same with campaigns. Yeah.
And the good part is, if you wanted to just do a one campaign, a one letter, a one this, that's where the whole mobile app comes into play. You could basically jump onto the mobile app and then send off one letter or one postcard. And that's the beauty of the system. It doesn't confine you to spending a whole lot of money of all of this stuff. It's flexible with what your needs are and how you want to integrate it.
That's great. That was perfect, Charles. Thanks for saying that. That's exactly right. Right. So let's jump into it. Show you the app. Does that sound good?
There you go. Sounds good.
All right. Let me jump in. Hang on a second. Let me pop open this little share thing, and I think this will allow me to share it with you. Hang on a second. So I'm going to show you. You can see that, okay?
Yes, I can.
Okay. So how about, there's my kids. That's Tristan and Lily. Okay. So looks like Claudia's going to lunch. So let's jump into this thing and just show you how it works. Print Genie, there it is. Let it fire up. There it is. So I'm giving you a mirror image of the dashboard that you would have seen. I'll just do it. There's a mirror image of the dashboard that you would see.
Right.
Piece of cake. It's on your phone. So we're giving you that, the expenses, touches, things like that. What you come here for? Click the plus. It's a driving for dollar product. Brings up a GPS. Well, that's my house. Pretty cool. Satellite view. Zoom in. Spy on Doug. My neighbor Doug. So there you go. That's as easy as it gets, right?
So basically, you have the flexibility of, if the address isn't the exact address that comes up when you're in front of that property, you could literally just move the pen to the right address, and then it integrates with that system.
That's it. It finds it automatically. And I'll tell you, what we're doing, we're using, I mean, just the way it works, we're using Google Maps because it's everywhere. Mm-hmm. We take that information, we confirm it, and I'll show you in a second, we confirm it with our data center. And when we confirm it, we're finding the owner's address, not the property you're standing in front of, in case the owner, doesn't live there, because you don't want to be mailing something to a renter. I mean, that stuff sounds commonplace, but it's like, geez Louise. So, okay, so here we go. Let's pick on something. We confirm it. We look at it. We're like, yep, that's it. Oh, by the way, if you want, just type in the address up top. If you want to do something lots of times people are like, hey, I have someone's address in my phone, and it's like, or they tell you the address. You don't have to do anything but type in like, well, here, let me just jump around real quick, if you don't mind. I'll just type in my childhood home, and I know it's AILB, and it brings up, based on a search through Google, that property. That's where I grew up. Okay. So that's how you can search it if you want to do virtual wholesaling, or you just want to stick for your phone. You don't have to be anywhere. And what's cool is, like, I don't have to be in front of the house to take a picture of it, which I'll show you in a second. I can use the Google Street View, and it'll pull it up as well. Does that make sense? Nice. So let's fly all the way back here, California, where I am now for 30-some years. Good decision. I'm going to pick a neighbor address. Click on it. There they are. Now, what you want to do is you want to see the property location. I'm going to kind of skip through this stuff kind of quickly because it's a little bit personal, but the property value, you can skip through it. Taxes. I'm not going to, come on, right? Right. It kind of gets whatever. It's who has a tool, right? It's like you want to know as much as you can. Okay, so check it out. Had I chosen a property that was a trust, I can edit it right here. Because you don't want to be sending out and say, dear trust, right? Just change it.
Right.
And then you can also do this. If you happen to know their email or their phone number, just type it in, right? So we're giving you that power.
Right.
Okay, maybe you don't have it. You can search it. So we have a skip trace built in. And so we're going to find the phone and the email when available and charge you only if we find it. So I'll skip trace.
That's the good part. That's the good part. Only if you find it will you get charged.
Only if you find it, yeah. So here's the deal. We tried to find it, but here's the deal. We couldn't find their phone, their email, but we found their phone. So they can see their phones right there.
Right.
So if you want to call them, right? Don't want to mail them? Just call them. Anyway, so there you go, got that. So now, what'd you come here for? Let me see if I can explain it this way. You can send a campaign. You can send a mailer. That makes sense. Or you can take that record you just searched and add it to a list and just save it later. Maybe you want to accumulate 10, 20 names in a day, but not really mail them yet. Now you have a list of 20, and you want to come home and think about it, make a campaign, or choose one of our campaigns and send it to everybody found that day. That's an option. But let's just go through this the way I was just showing you just now. Now here we were, just online showing you stuff. Well, I kind of remember I was telling you, how could I possibly show you like 30 pieces of mail that's going out? I can't, right? So what we're doing is we're saying, okay, just like before, I'm going to show you just click on the eye and it describes it. Okay, and it gives you a reminder, this is a postcard, then a letter, then a postcard, it's a letter, it's 4 text. It goes out, you know, blah, 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 and you can see here what it's good for, and foreclosure, whether their property is blah, 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 blah. Okay?
And Andy,
So,
just the
yes.
best part about what you're showing us right now. The fact is, it's in the palm of your hand. You can just basically pull out your phone. Right now, it's available in the Apple app, in the Apple Store, and you can also integrate it by way of Zapier integration. I know we're going to get a little bit into that as well. The other aspect of this is the best part is you got to understand you got in the palm of your hand the flexibility of sending out a multiple touch campaign, or you can send out just one letter, one postcard. So just understand when Andy is talking about the campaign, he's talking about multiple touches, 3 months, 6 months, 9 months, 12 months. You can either do it from this window and you'll see an actual degree of exactly what's in that campaign. And you'll see what the cost is. You'll see exactly what the actual pieces are. You'll see the frequency in which that campaign is going out. Or you can say, no, I just want to send off a one touch. Next, go to that level, go to that screen and show them where the one touch aspect comes into play.
Perfect. Perfect. Good. Okay. So just like you said, campaigns are campaigns. That's what a campaign is, exactly like you said. It's a multiple thing going out at every other month or every month or whatever it is. Then, like you said, if I just click send mailer, well, you got some options. Sorry, but not sorry. So here's the deal. I don't want to take a photo. I don't want to use a Google photo. I want to just send one of the postcards or letters that are in this thing. And then you can say to me, well,
this is the beautiful part.
Check this out.
This is the beautiful part, guys. Look at the actual integration of bringing up the actual mail pieces. He has actual images of exactly what the campaigns look like already done for you inside the system.
Yeah, listen, I'm telling you, it still blows me away because it's just crazy how what is available to us. But listen, I'm showing you right now about, I could 150 some postcards and letters, but you might, just like we did before, request only to see postcards that are handwritten and apply those filters. And now only postcards that have handwritten in them are going to show up. And it's as simple as, all right, I want to take this postcard, that's good, and click next. And it tells you at the bottom here, you're mailing it here because that's the owner, and you're mailing that postcard. And if I hit send, she's going to get that postcard, for whatever it is, 48 cents or 50 cents. Now, here's the other thing. You may say, that's cool, but what if this is going to get a little, let's do it this way. Look at, isn't it funny in the space that we're in here, but let's do this. Let me take a photo, right? There it is, from my window. A little weird, right? Hit OK. Now what's cool? Check this out. This is tech. I've been doing tech for 30 years, and I dig it. I'm telling you. So we took a picture. Our system knows that you took a picture. I'm not going to show you letters that don't have the ability for you to put a picture in it. Now, mind you, I could have built a letter with a photo zone that's going to automatically go in there. I just don't happen to have any here right here, but it's going to show you only those postcards and letters that has that green box that allows you, to take that photo that I just took and stick it in there. That's the front. That's the back. This is really cool. So there's no limit. You might go, Andy, I hate your postcards. So you can make your own from scratch. In that green box, you can start with a white piece of paper, put that box on both sides if you want to, make it smaller, make it bigger, right above it, right below it. And that way, when you order this thing, it's going to take that terrible picture I just took and send it, right? Now, wait a minute. This just sounds nuts, but say, for example, you're bad at taking pictures like I was there. Use Google Photo. Once again, it brings up only those assets that will receive it. Now, it's going to show the Google photo of that home. And all I have to do is click on next and launch. And that's going to send that photo on there to that, to that house with that photo on there, right?
Nice.
Yeah, and yeah,
man,
this is
unbelievable. This is powerful. I mean, like I said, for somebody that's been in the business now for 30 years, we both got that in common, 30 years.
Yeah.
So someone that's been in the business for 30 years, this is the first time I've ever had this much power in the palm of my hand where I could do so much, especially when you're talking about multiple campaigns and multiple touches. Now, here's the best part. I want to get to the final part of today.
Gotcha.
I want you to talk about that Zapier integration, because now you're able to blow the whole system out by integrating with almost every type of platform that's out there, whether it's a CRM, whether it's an autoresponder, whether it's a Google form. I mean, it's got so many capabilities when you're adding the Zapier piece to it.
Good. Awesome. So here's the thing. My philosophy has been that I didn't want to be an island. And so 5-6 years ago, when we integrated with data, it took us off the island. We now have that ability to connect internally. Before, you had to go someplace to get a list and import it in and all that kind of stuff. And I hated being an island. And so I know that's a little abstract to think about, but I didn't want Print Genie to also be an island where it's like you can only do it from within the platform, only if the platform had all those features that you would want. I didn't want that. So the Zapier connection, or the Zapier connection, is the best way for a CRM or a Podio or whatever to connect to Print Genie. So that's what a Zapier connection is. It's a bridge between this and Print Genie. Let me jump in here. Bear with me for a second. How easy it is I go in and choose the app that I want to connect to.
Mm-hmm.
I connect it to Print Genie. Now it's asking me, if I get you back over here, what do you want to do? Well, when a new action happens, I want to send what? I want to send a single template from Print Genie. And remember, a single template's just a letter or just a postcard. So you might have like a letter of intent. You might have just I just met you, or it's happened. That happens. Or you can send a full campaign, and that your choice right there. So if I choose single template and I use that Zap, now I'm connecting Podio to my Zap. I don't know if we want to go through the instructional on that one.
No, that won't be necessary, but I just wanted people to understand what just happened. Because a lot of us, and it doesn't matter what CRM you're using, inside of Zapier, it has both a boatload of integration with multiple CRMs. But to have the flexibility to put in a new seller lead inside of Podio. And then when you have that Zapier integration set up, now you're able to send out a postcard, send out a letter or a campaign, or both, inside of your Podio, just by triggering that action from putting in a new lead. I mean, that's pure automation.
That's perfect. That was said nicely. There, in going through this process, your Zap is up to you, because we don't know what you want to do. When you make your Zap, but there's 1,600 different apps that you can pick from. Like I have one through MailChimp. When someone fills out a form, I send them a bunch of emails, and then that's my basic CRM, and then it follows up with a direct mail postcard. I mean, yeah, and it just sends out, hey, thanks for watching the video. I hope you liked it. It's personalized, and it goes out automatically. So I'm combining that online and offline strategy, and I just happen to do it through MailChimp. Right. And so we have other connections through Property Radar, Podio we've done, but it's endless, and your systems, you can just tie right in. But, just to kind of summarize that, you can trigger any one of these postcards or letters or any of the campaigns. It's just on how you set up your Zap. Is it a single or a multiple touch? Doesn't make a difference to us.
Exactly. And the key here is, I know we keep emphasizing postcards and letters, guys, but really we're talking about 4 different mail types, or should I say 4 different marketing types. We got postcards, we got letters, we got text, we got email. So it's really 4 different ways in which you can hit that person. In marketing, we call it a pattern interrupt, because that's one of the ways in which we can get that person to take notice of exactly who we are, by not just sending the same thing all the time, but hitting them with a pattern interrupt at the same time, being in the actual mindset of that person when they're ready to make the decision. And I know what's coming up right now. People are saying, okay, I've heard enough. I want in. How do I get in? What does it cost? Where do I sign up? Let's hit that part right now.
Okay. So I think what's really good to understand, I think what's really important for you to understand is that we're a printer. We know we don't have to outsource it. And so what we're doing is we're really passing that savings along to you. We understand people, and they have analysis paralysis. They've got so much going on, and it's like, I should do RVMs, or I should do text, or I should do emails, or I should do direct mail. I've heard of this new widget, this whatever it is. I've heard it all. And so having been in the direct mail space for 20 some years, understanding the text and email is important, but you have to put weight on all these different things, right? So what we did was we said, let's just be competitive. Let's be cost effective. Let's make this good for our users. We built the system to handle it. So let's just do it that way. And so what we came up with, if you just click on try it for free, you try it for free. Try it for 7 days, you don't like it, no harm, no foul. That's it. But we said, let's just make it as affordable as possible. So for $49, you have access to everything I just showed you. And that gives you access to the ability to order your direct mail pieces, to zap it, to use your phone, the driving for a dollar. Currently, it's on an iPhone, so not to discourage you, or it's coming out on the Android, but for right now, you've got it on the iPhone. If you just have the Android, you can use the Google Sheets, and we'll show you how to do that. But for $49 a month, it gives you access to hundreds of postcards and letters that are pre-written, that are built right in your phone. And then you're paying for skip trace. It's only 59 cents if you do a skip trace inside the phone, right? You can buy lists from within the system, and then you're paying either 2 cents or 6 cents, depends on how many you buy and the type of list, but that's all built right in. And then as you kind of started to see when I was showing you $2.02 or $4, you can see that mini postcards, they start at 43, and then letters, single-sided, double-sided letters, and jumbo postcards. So when I say start at, it's because if I jump over here, if you get here and you click view prices, you can see as well, but I'm going to go ahead and jump in here and just show you some prices so you can see what the print prices are, right? So you're paying 49 bucks for the application, but this is the best part. Your pricing for mini postcards, full color, if you're sending 1 to 500, is 53 cents. So that's printed and mailed, first class, everything included, there's nothing else. Then when I kind of go down the line here, you might have 501 names, and then you're going to save a couple pennies. That's your mini postcards. Your jumbos and your letters are only mailed first class. We don't do standard mail, which is bulk mail, because when you were to set up a campaign, or if you were to set up a campaign, you didn't want one piece to arrive slower than the next piece and then have it jump over the other one and then come out of order. So everything goes out first class. So if we set something up immediately and then 3 weeks later and 3 weeks later, it's just going to always arrive, within that timely fashion. But you can see here letters, right? These are full first class, stuffed into an envelope like I showed you before, with a stamp, right, for 84 cents. That's it. So if you were to send a mini postcard and a letter in a campaign, you're looking at what, $1.25 or something? And that's it.
Well, here's the best part about it. We're talking about, let's look at the yellow letter type, single side, yellow letter. That's a yellow letter handwritten with an envelope where it has a handwritten font as well. So that's the key part about it.
Yeah, I'm a fan favorite of stuff we do, and I go through a lot to make it look as authentic as possible. Just to give you some theory, people are always confusing other people about marketing, and they're like, this is the best way, this is going to crush it, this is the only way. I'm thoroughly convinced that it takes, like you said, different things along the way. But one thing's for sure is that we try to find something that has an authentic flavor to it. So we make our own fonts. Everything comes with a stamp, and it's a real stamp. I mean, it's stuck on there with a stamp machine, but it's a real stamp. You know, it's like it peel it off. So it's a real stamp. It's not an indicia, which is a graphic. That's an indicia.
Mm-hmm.
So it's a real stamp. It's really handwritten. And then these things are really handwritten. And we put doodles on the side, and we underline things and make it look like you really wrote it, right? So that's kind of the premise behind it. But yeah, so everything is authentic. And look at the pricing here for that. They're more expensive on our Go Big side. And that's if you're sending out hundreds. Here we are for 76 cents basically to send one. I mean, it's just, you can't get better than that.
I mean, 76 cents to send out one handwritten letter with envelope, with first class stamp. It doesn't get any better than that.
Right, exactly. So yeah, we knew that going into this thing, that we had to make it competitive. We had to make it easy and affordable. We had to think a couple different ways. You might come in here and be the driving for dollar guy and send one campaign to one guy once a day. And so that costs you what, $2, $3? You might be the guy that's like, oh, I got my 20, 30, 50, or 100 leads from my data center, wherever that is. And it might be wherever you get it, but it might be 10, 2, 20, or 100. So now can you upload that list into our bulk mail center and order this thing? You can. So we had to make it cost effective in case you had 100 names, or if you just wanted to send one. So that's why our pricing is built like this as you kind of go through our pricing detail. But yeah, for both types of people, you don't know. But in the months, 6 months that we've been kind of slowly exposing this, it's a mix. I mean, we see a lot of people that come in, and it's like every day they added 12 names, 13 names, and you have a guy come in here, and what they do is they'll immediately do their farm list of 190 names or 200 names, and then they'll drip one or two at a time, or they'll add a name every day they get a new lead. So they're not going 200, 200, 200. They might just have that quick, immediate list. In fact, this happens almost all the time. There's a distress center that sends us data all the time, or they send their clients data, and it's almost like this. They're like, oh, we have some back data for the last month and a half. It's about whatever, it could be a couple hundred names. And so they take that couple hundred names, they put it in here, they upload the list and hit go, and those 200 names are going out. And then now that they're on a schedule with this distress center, about once a week, they'll send out about 20 names or 25 names. They'll just come in here and upload their 20, 25 names, and now they're on a pattern. Just like once a week, they're dumping their 25, 30 names into the system, and they're starting to think, okay, 25 people times $3, you start to go, okay, it's about $75 a week. So for about $75 a week, I'm hitting every one of these guys on that list that are hot and motivated, right? So that's kind of the way people have been using the system from my experience so far.
Right. Now let's go up on regards to the pricing of what it costs after the trial period. I know you got a 7-day free trial. You mentioned the $49 a month plan, but I think you also have a $97 a month plan. What's the difference between each plan, and how does that work in regards to the type of investor that may want to go from the 49 to the 97?
Gotcha. Okay. So we put a lot of thought into this as well. And if you click over here on, where'd I go here? See here. I kind of laid it out here. As a basic user, no offense. Or as a pro user, basic, pro. It's clearly identified. You're a basic user, you're a pro user. So what's it good for? And really, I'd say in the experience I have, it's probably a range, but I think more people are kind of maybe 65, 70% are doing the pro account. I mean, from what my experience, because here's the difference. And basically, to be honest with you, this was more to stop people from asking us to do stuff. This was more like, you do it. I don't want to build you a postcard. You go build a postcard, right? Sure, you can send stuff to us on this. I'm talking for 20 years of Go Big experience. Hey, I have my own thing. I want you to mail it. All right, send it to us. We'll put it together. We'll give it to you in about a week and a half. You'll have your postcard and you can edit it. Not making that lightly, but just to try to drive home a point. Now it's like, oh, like me, instant gratification. And I'll show you in a second.
Right.
You can log in, make your own postcard. So what's the difference? A basic user doesn't have to think about what to send, how often to send it, what it should say, what's the script, any of that stuff. It's already done. Your postcards and letters are pretty done. The campaign's already pre-done. You don't have to think about it. That's a basic user. And then you've got the guys that like, wait a minute, I want my own voice. I don't buy houses. I buy payments. I take over leases. I buy leases. What is it that you do? Okay, maybe we don't have a campaign or a postcard that is taking over a payment or a lease. So make your own. So that's a pro. And so what you can do is you can take over all of our assets and clone them and then make your own. So
Gotcha.
Can I show you that real quick? Can I jump in there?
Just show us this real quick.
So if you are, let's move this out the way. If you are a pro and you wanted to make your own, let me just show you real quick. So here, kind of the system looks a little the same, but there's more options over here. So now as a pro, we give you tons of text messages, but you can duplicate them or clone them or favorite them. We give you tons of emails already written, but you can duplicate them, right, or favorite them. So we're giving you a bunch of stuff to start with that's already in our campaigns, but you want to make your own? Okay, just take this, duplicate it, and then write it with your own voice.
So what you're saying, Andy, is that the basic and pro user gets the same amount of stuff, except the pro user has the flexibility of editing them.
Exactly.
Changing it all around for whatever you want to do. So I don't want you guys to think that you're missing out on something if you got basic. No, because for a lot of you guys, basic will be more than enough for you because it's already written, it's already done for you, it's already proven, it's already tested. So for most of you or some of you, that would be good enough. But if you want that flexibility, like Andy mentioned, if you want to do a campaign where you're buying payments, or a campaign where you're doing something outside of the business that he has or we have set up in there already, that's where the pro use membership may come into play.
That's exactly right. That's exactly right. And I won't even get into it, but I'll just show you just for the heck of it. One thing, I'll call it test, Charles. And I'm only doing this just to show off a little bit, because as it's building this, let me jump in here and find it. I called it test. And I'm just super proud of it, that's all. So here it is. Now you'll see there's one more little icon. Before you didn't see this icon, but now you have a pencil. That means edit. And I click continue, and what we do is we open up our template mail builder. And so, and I'm telling you, I'm just to date myself, we built this 20 years ago, nothing like this at all. And it didn't have any of these abilities, much less for a user to do it. No way was it like that. So here what we're doing is we're jumping in here and we're building our own postcards and letters. So say, for example, you can upload your own images. You can get a bunch of images here, right? So you can search in something like house and then find a bunch of houses. You can come in here and click on, for example, let's just zoom in so you can see it. If I grab, let's grab here. Let's go over here, Charles, for a second. Bear with me for 1 second. A doodle. So say you want to grab a doodle and then add a doodle to the page. And then you're not excited about being able to, sorry here. My little control's in the way here. So you want to put that in a specific spot. Just stick that right there. And you jump over to the other side, and maybe you don't like the way we did that. And then you can move that out the way, get rid of it, or rotate this. Or come in here and change that color. So I'm not going to keep going, but I mean, this is, to me, you just go nuts with it if you wanted to.
So, to sum it up, you got done for you, and then you have done by you. So look at the basic system as a done for you system, a system that is already set up. And for most new investors, it's going to be perfect for you in order to have these campaigns already set up, already tested, letters, postcards, emails, text messages, already done for you. Or the $97 a month done by you, where you could bring in your voice, your message to whatever piece you want to have out there, customize it to an extent where It no longer looks like what Andy has here, but it looks how you decide you want it to look. That's the key, guys. It's all about choice and preference. And for me, for most of you, the basic system, the done by you, the done for you system will be the case. But for those of you who are really trying to step the game up, bring in integration where you're speaking from your own voice, you may want to jump on that done by you system.
Perfect. That was perfect. You summed it up so great. That was exactly right. And you know what? One of the things that we've thought about in the beginning was, how can we create something that someone could just push a couple buttons and it happens automatically? So if you sum up everything we just babbled on about for about an hour, what we've said is, from your phone or from the system, you can add one name to a full list or a full campaign that drips, 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 and drips and does exactly what it's supposed to do as far as getting a response out of people. Yeah, that was great, Charles. You nailed it. That's perfect.
Thank you, man. No problem at all. Now, my offer for you guys, for everybody that signed up to this system tonight, today, this afternoon, whenever you want to sign up for it right now immediately, I'm going to give you my complete real estate business in a box program with it. It's going to have my contracts, my tools, my cheat sheets, all that is going to come with it when you sign up underneath with my link. The actual web address is madprintgenie.io, and we've had it right here on the actual video screen. You'll see it at the top, madprintgenie.io. I'll have a link here, the URL. You know you're at my page. When you see the Mad Scientist face on that page, I'm going to give you my complete business of a box. When you sign up, Andy's going to reach out to me and say, Charles, hey, we got another sign up underneath for your account, and let's go ahead and send this person their complete Mad Scientist business in the box, actual forms, tools, and resources with your Print Genie order.
That's a lot. That's a lot, Charles. You're arming them with a lot of good stuff. So, hey, you know what? And also, not to leave anybody hanging. We are here for you. There's help, and then we're here. And it's not like you're going to get lost in the world of whatever we just showed you. We're here to help. We're here to help you integrate. We're here to build templates and campaigns. This little question mark here, just click on it, talk to us, right? Schedule a time. We can help set up templates. We can show you demos. We can show you stuff. So we know what you're going through, but we're here for you. Charles and I also, okay? Good deal.
Wow, man. It's been incredible. It's been almost 90 minutes now. And like I said, I think that I know that this platform will turn people from looking at investing to actually doing investing. So I want to personally thank you, Andy, for being on the broadcast, for coming out, spending your time with you, man. I know we're using the system right now, and I just hope that you guys understand the value of what this man has built and what he's going to be able to put into the palm of your hands and on your desktop to really take your real estate business to the next level.
Hey, it's nice to be here, Charles. I love your enthusiasm. You're a great guy. Thanks for your time today. That was fun. I love it. I'm here to help.
Thank you. I appreciate it. I know you are. Hey, guys, once again, this is Charles Blair, the Mad Scientist, signing out, and I'm looking forward to seeing you on the Print Genie side of success. Take care, and I'll see you soon, guys. Bye-bye.